What up, what up, what up, what up, everybody? Guess what? You are officially rolling with Ramsey. I just wanted to take this time to say, hey, man, it's a beautiful day out. And when you're having such a beautiful day, uh, you can't go wrong. Life is good. Life is good. Life is great. It is a blessing to be able to see another day. And I just wanted to take this time to say, hey, listen, this Wednesday is going to be a must see show. You definitely want to see the live that we're going to have going this Wednesday. Uh, the show is about autism and more. Everything you think you know about autism, but more importantly, what you don't know about autism. So I'm pretty excited to have a whole panel of guests, two women with PhDs. Uh, Not only that, and some people who have some children who are artistic, and then we're going to have some people who are helping married companies to make sure that people who are on the spectrum can have gainful employment. A lady, I see you. She says it's raining here, but beautiful. I know that's right because it ain't nothing like some fresh rain. So gotta love it. I just wanted to come on and take the time to promote the show on Wednesday because we want everybody to get a chance to chime in, have your voices heard, answer your questions. Don't be afraid to ask the questions that you thought about before. Like we've all seen kids and so forth, and kind of wonder about certain things, and the situation may seem uncomfortable, but not in this setting. It's going to be definitely an open setting, so people can ask questions. They say, my mom used to say all the time, may she rest in peace, the dumbest question is the one that you don't ask. So it's going to be an opportunity not only to just ask questions, but to also to be able to share resources. So that's going to be pretty cool too. So we're looking forward to doing that on Wednesday. Um, that's going to be great. So in a couple of days we're doing that. My guests are going to be Dr. Sabrina Robbins, Dr. Shante Witcher, retired CW2 Carmisha Miller, and a good friend of mine, just a phenomenal guy with what he does from Unconsciously Unbiased, uh, Ashish Kashal. I believe I'm saying his name correctly, the last name, but he's the founder and CEO of Unconsciously Unbiased, and that's going to be beautiful to have everybody on in a panel all together to be able to talk about an issue that we love. Y'all see me messing with my hat because it's like crooked on my head. I'm looking at it in the camera. I'm like trying to get it right. There we go. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Right there. Close enough, right? Um, so that's going to be cool. So I'm looking forward. Definitely looking forward to that. Um, Thank you, everyone who's been showing so much support. That's been coming on and watching the episodes, asking questions. Um, Phenomenal. Just to give a couple of people props. R&B artist Quentin Smith. I love him. I work with him. My business partner. The great thing about that is having an R&B artist who is a producer, singer, and songwriter. Once I'm done, I can send him the audio file and he can edit it for me. And he cleans it all up for me. Everyone at Tascam, Tascam 12 mixer is phenomenal. And I'd like to thank Sweetwater.com for allowing me to be able to pick it up. So that's cool too. I don't know what everyone else is getting into today, but I will tell you that we have some things that have been taking place. Some things that have been taking place. Black lives do matter. Rest in peace, George Floyd. Let me say it. As a retired career soldier for the United States Army, going back 4 years ago to when Colin Kaepernick was first kneeling during the national anthem, he made it very clear that it was not disrespecting soldiers, military personnel. It was all about um, the unfair treatment of African Americans by law enforcement. Um, his message got hijacked because people wanted to say that he was disrespecting the flag and the national anthem. That was never the case. And there were a lot of service members, men and women, who could not, because they were on active duty, come to his defense, I will tell you, there are a lot of people who agree with Colin. If you go back and if you look up the oath of enlistment at all, it says that we will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Well, that Constitution gives people the freedom to protest. So saying that what he was doing was wrong and it was disrespectful, no, it wasn't. It was everything that we stood for as soldiers and what we did. And now it is right in our face, and it can't be ignored. And I am so proud that I see the United States of America being going all the way back to a little kid and watching School of Rock after school special when they talk about one would come on and they talk about America being a melting pot. Well, that's exactly what it is. But I'm proud to see my white brothers and sisters finally standing up and bringing attention to the problem with us. Enough is enough. That is a beautiful thing. I witnessed it. I've seen it. I went and got the motor coach, the Big Cat, washed on Saturday, and as I came back, I got off. I wanted to go to Target, and I got off in the town of Burlington, North Carolina. And as I was turning into a shopping center, a major shopping center there in Burlington where Target was, on the corner was a white couple, male and female, with a sign that said Black Lives Matter. And I was touched and I was very moved because I had to go back and think about the consciousness of what they were doing. They woke up, they said, hey, they looked at each other, whose idea it was or not, and said, hey, we're going to go let our voices be heard because this is wrong. And they made their way to that corner with their sign by themselves. They were the only people out there. Young white couple. I don't know who they are, where they are, but I want to say thank you. Thank you for having the courage and the internal fortitude to bring voice to this issue. Thank you. This movement is happening. This is a different time in our country, in America, right now, and people are basically saying enough is enough. We have to make changes. The United States has to heal. And in order for us to heal as a nation, as a country, we have to understand where we're hurting. And you can't just ignore anyone. You can't go so far in one direction that you just turn a blind eye. And I'm glad that the flag is no longer being used to keep a blind eye to the injustices that have been happening. I get along and love everyone. I work well with others. How you want to say it? I got all friends: black, white, brown, blue, purple, yellow, whatever. I get along with everybody. But to say that when I wake up every day, what up, James? But to say that when I wake up every day, that I do not realize and understand that I'm a black man in the United States of America wouldn't be true. I do. I wake up in my skin every day, and from a young age, I've understood that I was different just because I was black. Black is beautiful. I believe that. My mom and dad told me that I could be and do anything I wanted to in this world. And they gave me the courage to do some amazing things. But no matter what I did, no matter what accomplishments I made, I could tell you my own stories. It didn't stop me from being a black man in America. Have I been racially profiled? Yes, I have. On more than one occasion. Have I been stopped? Yes, I have. Have I been in a situation where I've gotten on an elevator and people move, or the young lady or the lady kind of move in the corner and clutch her purse? Been there, done that too. Have I had people cross to the other side of the street? Sure have. Have I had people look at me kind of strange when they see me get out of my Tiffin motor coach? I have. But it's okay because you have to get to know an individual and not use your prejudgments or your biases on what you think. And if I could shed any light on the situation, and if I could tell anybody anything right about now, I would say one of the best things you could do right now, seek understanding rather than trying to be understood. That's what I would tell you. You need to seek understanding rather than being understood. Um, do I believe in law enforcement? Sure, I do. I do. I respect law enforcement. I believe it. I know that it is needed, but we need to make sure that there are systems in place and people understand. I just don't understand it. Why, I was in the military for 23 years. And every time we deployed to another country, we had what's called rules of engagement. In a lot of these situations and instances that we're seeing on video, people are not taking time to just talk to people. Find out what's going on. They immediately go from 0 to 100. George Floyd was accused of allegedly passing a counterfeit $20 bill. A $20 bill. Any of us could have gotten one from a store. Anything. Could have gotten one from a store. What up, Tree? Could have gotten one from a store, passed to us from a convenience store, or whatever. I don't walk around with a mark in my pocket. So I can't say that I could have had one. Very easily. And this man lost his life over that. Think about that. Think about that. $20. $20. He's gone. Did it require all that for $20? I think his name is Eric Gardner up in New York. I can't breathe. Allegedly selling loose cigarettes outside of a store. Gone. When if you'd approach me and say, hey, dude, man, look, whether you're doing it or not, owner wants you to move on. Should still be alive. And so we have to ask ourselves about the escalation of force, the rules of engagement, and why we have just become a nation of where we just don't talk to people anymore. And we wonder why we're so afraid in our black and brown communities to work with law enforcement. It's going to require all of us to bring forth policies that can truly make change. That's what's going to be required. We're going to have to be able to do that. If we don't, we're in trouble. And I want to say this. This is my own personal opinion. Like it if you don't like it. I truly believe that our country is in a state of emergency. We have a leader who is not leading us all. And that's very disappointing. Because I've often said that I did not have a problem with the fact that Donald Trump became president. He was elected in the system that we have. I have an issue with that he's not a president that unifies the country and that is for everyone. And he's making it very clear that he's not for everyone. Very clear. And I want everybody to know, yes, I support Joe Biden for the president of the United States. So I'm not telling people to just go vote. I'm telling people to go vote for Joe Biden. Go vote for Joe Biden. Don't stay at home, because if you stay at home, that's just like voting for Donald Trump. We're going to have to get someone in office who understands the office of the presidency, understands what it truly means and what the honor of being president of the United States really is. And I served for 23 years. There are some things that I'm a little more conservative on. There's some things I'm a little bit more liberal on. So I'm in the middle of the road about a lot of things. What I'm not blind to is that we have somebody leading our country who clearly does not know what they're doing, who's clearly ignoring all the rules and the traditions of the presidency, period. So I have a very unique perspective. I do. And so all I can tell you is that I just don't want us to be the laughing stock of the world anymore. I really don't. I really don't. I want us to be respected like we should be around the world. That's what we should be. We've mismanaged this pandemic, which has cost people their lives. Think about that. Just mismanaged. Let's skip President Obama. Do you think that it would have been handled the same way under George W. Bush? Do you think that George W. Bush wouldn't have spoken out about some of the things that have taken place in this last month? I don't know. I don't have that answer. I'd like to believe that he would. I like to believe and know that he was a more empathetic person. Um, but in spite of these tragedies, I know that we're a country that can come back together and we can be much stronger than we were before. I know we can. I know we can. I really do. And that's going to require us to come together and heal. And that's what Rolling with Ramsey is all about. Having healthy conversations about subjects on social issues that we may or may not agree on. But we can have a healthy conversation, hear each other's perspective, and then be like, okay, I hear you. Let me meditate on it. Let that marinate just a little bit and see where it goes. But we can no longer be silent about things that are right in front of us, injustices, and ignore them any longer. We can't do it. So I want you to think about something. Our government is based on a system of checks and balances. Checks and balances. Just Google it. 3 branches: the judicial branch, the legislative branch, and the executive branch. The executive branch is the office of the presidency. The legislative branch is the Senate and the Congress. And the judicial branch is the Supreme Court. A system of checks and balances. The legislative branch can't line up with the executive branch because then the system breaks down if no one is checking that branch. It's just that simple. Now the tripod is broken and it doesn't stand. If you want to ignore the fact that the Republican Party and Mitch McConnell has just let Donald Trump run amok and has not checked him on anything, then I'm just asking you to wake up. Wake up. It's not how the system is supposed to work. You're not supposed to just let the president do whatever the hell he wants to do. So the system is failing because you have people who are not willing to do their job. All because they're just stubborn and petty. How about we do what's best for the country? How about that? That's how it's supposed to work. Each senator, each congressman is elected by the people. So it's supposed to be a system by the people and for the people. If you're not for everyone, you don't have to agree on everything, but you can't be blinded by just the obvious. You can't be. And if you are, it's time for you to go. Change has to happen. Change for the better. That's what we want. That's what we need. I served this country for 23 long years at every level. Enlisted, warrant, and a commissioned officer. I've deployed to Afghanistan, Iraq, Bosnia, Kosovo. Is this my America too? What does the flag mean to me? Does it mean the same thing to me as it's supposed to mean to you? I've served with some people who've paid the ultimate sacrifice, who are no longer here. And I wonder if it was for them too. My career has given me some amazing opportunities to see the world, make amazing friends that are like family. They are family that I keep up with all the time. But at the same time, it's allowed me to see other countries and how they treat their citizens and the rights and the freedoms that they do not have. And I've gone there and defended them so that they can have democracy. And wonder whether or not it's taking place in the United States of America for everyone. Imagine how African American soldiers are conflicted while they're serving. And this isn't new. During Hurricane Katrina, I was deployed to Iraq. And I dropped more meals ready to eat to Iraqi kids and families from our helicopter that I was flying than you can count. But for whatever reason, folks were having trouble getting food here in the United States and New Orleans. Just doesn't make any sense. So what does that tell you? We've had a problem for some time now that has to change. We have to change social economic problems with policies and procedures to truly help bring change with action. That's what we got to do. That's what we have to do. That's what we must do. That's what we must do. Change has to happen. The question is, are you, whether you're black, white, blue, brown, or purple, are you going to be a part of the solution, or are you going to continue to be part of the problem? Me being a part of the solution is bringing people together to have healthy conversations about different things. Like I said, Wednesday we're talking about autism. Autism. Everything you think you know, but more importantly, what you don't know. How it affects all communities and how it affects communities of color. Because it still comes down to that, because we're still treated differently. And that's what I want you to understand. Think about it. I step out of this motor coach, this tipping motor coach, this 2019 34 PA that I so love and call the Big Cat, to pump my gas, and sometimes get looks of how can he afford that? It's not supposed to be that way. Now there are few who far in between, and most times people are like, man, that's a nice ride, a nice motor coach, a nice rig. But I'm a soldier, and I always will be one. But I'm observant, so I notice the other ones too. My name is Charles A. Ramsey II, and yes, I am rolling with Ramsey. And I'm a black man in the United States of America, and I am George Floyd every day. Y'all have a blessed evening. Make sure you tune in on Wednesday for my live panel discussion about autism. What you think you know, but more importantly, what you don't know. I love you all. God bless you all, and God bless the United States of America.